The murder of a dying woman first looked like a simple case. The husband claimed he found her dead, calling it suicide. But his wife was stabbed 55 times. Prosecutors convinced a judge to keep some evidence from jurors, but it's all in the court record. Betsy Faria was dying. Her friend Kathleen Meyer said Betsy had just come to terms with it and was content. Her family would get a life insurance payout.
Policies that will take care of my husband and my daughters. She said, so when I die, they will be well taken care of.
That was Betsy, always thinking of others, even hoping to raise money for another family battling cancer.
And so this was going to be a legacy for her to leave something like this behind in her memory.
She remembers Betsy being ecstatic. They'd raised a lot of money.
I don't know how they collected the $10,000 she said they collected, but they weren't an organization that could give a tax reimbursement yet.
Kathleen says Pam Hupp, Betsy's friend, went door to door with Betsy, passing out this flyer in December, just weeks before Betsy died. This is where our timeline begins. Court records show on December 23rd, 4 days before the murder, Pam and Betsy went to the Winghaven Library together. There, they had a librarian witness them signing a change of beneficiary form for Betsy's life insurance policy. The new beneficiary for that $150,000 policy, Pam Hupp.
It didn't make any sense to me at all. I had no knowledge of this until the insurance company was investigating the payout.
According to records from State Farm, less than a month after the murder, a detective gave the go-ahead to the insurance company, saying Mr. Faria is currently in custody. Months later, that same detective appeared friendly in this follow-up interview with Hupp.
You now have this money and have not turned any of this money over to the family or the kids.
That's correct.
That's a huge problem. Betsy has told you that she wants you to hold on to this money to make sure that the family, the girls are taken care of, yet they haven't seen a dime of that money. You still have it.
The detective asked again about the day of the murder, December 27th, 2011. Betsy was with her friend Bobby Wan at Betsy's chemo that afternoon. Court records indicate Betsy texted Hupp to tell her she didn't need a ride, she was with an old friend, and texted, "Have not spent any one-on-one with her." But Hupp suddenly showed up at this chemo treatment. Betsy's friend said she was surprised, and Hupp took Betsy home later that night. Then, just hours before the murder, Betsy texted Russ, "Pam Hupp wants to bring me home to bed." Pam told the court she drove Betsy from Lake St. Louis to Troy, arriving after 7 p.m. According to court records, Betsy's daughter called to tell her mom she'd need to pick up her phone soon to authorize a family plan cell phone. Betsy did not pick up, not at 7:21, 7:26, or 7:30. Hupp told police she was gone by then. Listen on this audio tape recorded the morning after the murder.
We called my husband when we got there.
And you called him for what reason?
To tell him we were there. He wanted to know when I don't really drive at night too much.
Did you go inside?
No.
First, she said no. Then a major case squad investigator asked again.
So did you ever actually go inside the house?
I did. Well, we just went in. She turned on the hall light.
Police asked about another call Hupp made to Betsy at 7:27 p.m.
You called her when you got home?
I'm trying to think which one I called. I called Betsy to tell her I was home.
Home is O'Fallon, Missouri. Cell phone records show that 7:27 call pinged north of Troy in this area of the Faria home. I talked to Hupp at her house right after the trial. I asked her if she remembered hearing Betsy's phone ring when her daughter was calling.
Betsy doesn't not pick up many calls.
Right, so I was just wondering why she didn't pick up those.
That I can't answer. Maybe either we were in her bedroom then. I don't know. I don't know where her phone was. I never even heard any calls. I don't know if I left right before she got a call. I don't know. Like I told them, I wasn't expecting for police to come to my door that next morning, so I wasn't taking notes.
Go back.
She also sounded uncertain during this videotaped re-interview about how she left Betsy.
I think originally you told investigators that when you left, Betsy was laying on the couch. Is that correct?
I know she was on the couch because she was going to put in a movie. She was going to watch a movie. It happened really fast. All that happened really fast, and used to her walking to my door. Maybe
Sure.
not, but I want to say today she did. But
Okay.
maybe she still was on the couch. She
Okay.
was often on the couch.
The only female DNA found at the scene was Betsy's. DNA testing revealed Betsy's blood on the murder weapon. The DNA lab report continues. Russell Faria is excluded as the source of these profiles. Blood on the light switch came back, a mixture of at least 2 individuals, at least one of which is male. The report continues that it's Betsy's blood, but that Russell Faria is excluded as the major contributor. Minor contributors are weak and incomplete. When talking to Hupp at her door, she told me the major case squad did not seize much from her, except this list of clothing she told detectives she was wearing.
They took the clothing you said you wore,
Right.
and then they looked at, did they look at the car?
I don't know if they did or not. It was outside. I mean, it was parked right in my driveway.
Did they spray luminol on your car or your husband's car?
No.
After this interview with Hupp,
I just want your initial thoughts.
we found the family on the flyer Hupp reportedly handed out.
Wow, that's our Christmas card. Phew, that's really, it's kind of scary.
James Murphy is the man in that flyer, seeing for the first time his Christmas card, photocopied, he says, without his permission.
I have no idea where she came up with some of this stuff.
We found Murphy while following a lead apparently overlooked by investigators.
To me, in my world, $150,000 is not that much.
Court records show that Hupp claimed she did not need money and even once gave $50,000 to a family battling cancer. This interview may be the first time anyone's followed up.
It never got back to you. Nobody ever said, hey, what's...
I'm really surprised that that we haven't been. I mean, it's doing something like this. That's taking a big chance. I would think that somebody didn't contact us.
He says the story is not true. In this line, Laura's last Christmas.
She still had time. She still had time. She was sick, but no, it's this. I have no idea why she would say this is Laura's last Christmas.
So if you had seen that at the time, that would hurt.
It would. It really would.
She had 2 Christmases. His wife died a year and a half later. James Murphy said Hupp regularly took his wife out while she underwent chemo, but never said anything about a fundraiser, and he never saw a dime. To make a case against Russ Faria, prosecutors made surprising new allegations in closing statements. They convinced a jury this was an evil plan, plotted by 5 people playing a fantasy role-play game.
You'll hear from all 4 of the fantasy game players who are now challenging prosecutors and police. Come and get them if prosecutors really believe they're not telling the truth about the night of the murder.
We're not going to let our friend go away up the river for something he didn't do, not without yelling and screaming about it.